but like a lot of times you gotta prove things to other people too.
The reason why I wanted to prove it to other people,
prove them wrong.
I wanted to prove it to other people in the family to make my life easier. Because I don't need people talking this and that and blocking my blessings, whatever they have on their end. Because I need all the help I can get if our child had survived, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to rely on X, Y, Z. But if they're not, you know, if they're at a distance, it's harder for me.
Yeah, sure.
True.
Do you feel like, did you ever have the conversation with them, like, at any point in time?
There was a breaking point. There was a breaking point where everything was revealed.
Was this the aftermath, or was this like before?
Aftermath. Unfortunately, aftermath. But like, it was the moment that like she had the stillbirth, and I was there. Everybody couldn't say anything anymore. They couldn't say anything to me anymore because I was there.
You were present.
Prove them.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yo, sometimes some people have a mentality that they don't want to prove anything to anybody but themselves, you know what I mean? So do you feel like that's a fair thing to go about, or do you feel like your analogy still is like, they gotta prove some people wrong?
You gotta prove some people wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's kind of like life on fire, bro. Like, it makes you want to go even harder.
It's that motivation.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's how I get sometimes.
So it's like a drive.
Somebody tells me I can't do something or I'm not gonna do something.
You're gonna do it.
You can't tell me I can't do nothing.
Exactly.
Point blank, I agree. You can't tell me I can't. There's no limit to what I can do. I feel like that for everybody in this room, so I agree with you still.
But that's big. That's big of you, and like, you know what? At the end of the day, like, I wasn't there for that, but I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, they'll respect you forever because of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Because you stuck around, and sometimes, okay, so I'm a dad, right? And like, I don't even think I'm the best dad, but I get so much praise for just being present. And sometimes being present, that's all you need.
That's really it.
That's all you get. So I think that's pretty big, and like, they can't doubt you, at least when it comes to that. Like, if it were ever to happen again, they would not say, nah, this guy's not gonna be there, because you've proven them that you would be there, So that's what's going on.
We got a special guest coming in through. What you say, Natty?
Holy
Natty. Hey.
Gentlemen, Tekka.
Welcome to the show.
Everybody.
Yeah, we all know that.
Big Ed sister, my lovely niece.
Yeah. I know that. Oh man. All right, a little brief intermission. We live though. Get my best angle on here.
Oh shit. Oh
goddamn.
Goddamn 47.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Alright.
You wanna be in the
Okay. So this.
We're recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah, we record.
Yeah,
It's recording right there. Camera right there. I mean, you can go ahead, Scott. What do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
Hi, my name is
Amira.
Amici.
This it?
Goddamn.
Alright, got one
My
last.
favorite niece.
Got one last topic right
I
now.
have to say real quick.
Go do your thing, bro.
Just in regards to like the most difficult conversation to ever have.
Yeah.
Or at least for me personally. I don't know about you. Have any of you men been in women as well, everybody, been in a situation where you have to teach an elder how to be a woman or a man?
Yeah. And yes. and you know what? Like, the thing is, it's okay. So I didn't want to cut you off, or like, because you did ask a question. I thought you were gonna elaborate on that after.
I'm gonna elaborate.
With my parents, it's been very difficult. They taught me to be a certain way, and so I don't know if I don't know. I know things that they don't know. I see it. I have a perspective that they don't have, or that they don't possess. They're from the Caribbean.
They have their ways.
Exactly. They're stuck in their ways too. Like,
true.
And I experienced that, but I also experienced this Canadian lifestyle, and it's just changed my, I don't know, the way I see things, and how I interact with people and all that stuff. And I always looked up to my parents, but as my dad is an older guy, and I know people when they get older, sometimes they get miserable. They get they become locked in the way they see things, and I'm like, man, this is the guy I used to look up to.
Yeah.
And I still look up to him when it comes to a lot of things too, but there are certain things that, what? There are certain things that, he would say, and I'm like, wow, like, I see the, I don't know, I don't even want to call it backwards or anything, but I see that he doesn't even love himself in ways that he taught me to love myself, like, and the thing is, it's crazy. I'm like, what? How are you really thinking about that? You grew up in that time, and that's what you think, like, you're insecure about maybe what some white people are gonna think or something like that. Like, that was just an example, but
that might come with age.
Pardon me?
I think that might come with age.
I think it would too, the time in which he, was raised and he grew up. But trying to teach them something, and it was, like, the thing is, at least with my dad, I won't even talk about my mom, but my dad, I realized that he was in denial about a lot of things, and he just wasn't honest with himself. And so for me to point that out to him, and then, even tell him the truth about himself from my experience, or tell him my experience regarding him, like, it was difficult, we're both there crying, like, and it's like, wow, he's like, yo, I can't believe this. He's like, in my 70-something years, this is the first time somebody's, and it's hurting me. That's why I'm telling him. It's because I can't watch you live your life like that, but,
How long did it take you to have this conversation, though?
How long ago?
How long did it take you to have this conversation?
Oh, man, I was working on doing this, honestly, from when I was 13 to when I was 25, trying to have this conversation, and it wasn't until I had my first child that maybe he would actually listen to what I had to say, and it was
because he can resonate now.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know what his reason was, but maybe I was super persistent and I didn't care. I always believe in respecting my parents and stuff like that. And I never wanted to cross the line, but it was like, nah, you can't tell me what to do. I have my own kid. I trust me. I just listen to me.
The milestones passed, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And and we had an honest conversation. It was open. We both cried, and it wasn't just me. I can't even lie. It was my siblings as well. It was all of us. It was a group effort, and we were talking to my dad, and he finally admitted to a lot of things that he was wrong about, and I'm not even gonna say it changed him entirely, but he admitted to some of his wrongs and
recognized.
How did it feel?
Exactly. It was good. It was a relief because I'm like, man, this is something I've been holding on to for at least a decade.
Yeah.
Like, so it was deep. It was deep, and it
it's deep theory.
It was super relieving, and
deep theory.
Like now we can have certain conversations. Obviously, I'm not gonna have every kind of conversation with my dad, but I think because of that conversation, he respects me in a different way that, where he's like, oh, you're my son. He will always see me as his son. Sometimes they'll always see you as a child, right? And I think now he's forced to deal with the fact that I'm not a child anymore. Like I'm always gonna be his kid.
Yeah,
but
you're a man.
Exactly. And I guess I've proven that to him, and it was really difficult though. Like I'm saying it, and I'm probably just downplaying it, but it was real. Like it was, it was real. So
it sounds like if you dive into it more, you might cry and shed a tear.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but it was real. Maybe if he was sitting there, but it was also like it's water under the bridge now. We both have grown from that, and we learned from it too. So
that's what's up, man. Dre, I don't know you want to elaborate though.
Well, I mean, for myself personally, it's basically based on